Tanya and Roddy for helping me get this cabinet. If it weren't for you guys, I don't know how I would have gotten this thing here. And then my amazing husband, who had the whole weekend for himself to play games while I was busy fixing and decorating and everything. He got up and helped me, and I didn't even ask him to, and he's just amazing like that. And thank you, my love. I appreciate it. As some of you guys know, I enjoy singing so much. I had a vocal coach in South Africa called Zanali, and she's absolutely amazing. She was also on The Voice. Sorry, I'm still a bit sick. Her and a band have a YouTube channel, Zani and the Secret, and they are absolutely amazing. So they cover music like this. And they have originals like this. Me sitting here dancing to no music because I didn't put the videos in yet. So I'm going to put their link in the description. Please guys, do me a huge favor and go and subscribe to their channel and watch some of their videos and give them some love. Then, ever since I was a teeny tiny little chuckles running around everywhere, my mother, my family, my friends,
my teachers, my bosses, my colleagues, my dogs, my cats, my rats, my spiders,
my everything I've ever had has always told me I don't know how to get to the point. I wonder why they would say that. But anyway, I love talking, I love telling stories, and I love story time videos on YouTube because I can just like chill in the bath or go for a run and just listen. I don't have to watch because it's a story, and even though it's not a story you need in your life, it's something that can interest you a bit. So I decided to put my talents to use and start telling stories. So I'm going to start a story time series, and you guys are going to watch this video, and afterwards you're going to comment down below whether I should continue doing it or not. My first story is going to be quite boring for you guys, probably because it's a story about me and Mike and how we met and where we got to where we are today. But it's quite an interesting story to me personally, so I don't know if you guys want to keep on listening. Me and Mike technically met when we were very small. So let me explain. I sat in a little house, and then people were staying next to us in a little house, and the people next to us had 2 children, and I was an only child back then. My siblings weren't born yet. So I used to always jump over the wall and play with the youngest boy, or they will jump over my wall and come play by my house. I was friends with them, and Mike was friends with them because Mike stayed 1 block up, and that's how we met the first time officially, and we were friends, always playing together, going home, forgetting about each other, playing together again. So finally I moved, Mike moved, we all lost contact, and I forgot who Mike even was. Time passes, and a friend of mine invites me and my then boyfriend to her birthday party in 2013. This was March or April 2013. So I went with my boyfriend and a few of my friends, and then when I got there I saw a girl who I used to go to school with, primary school with, and haven't seen her since, and we had a little chat, and she came with a guy, which I know wasn't her boyfriend because she's a lesbian. So but the whole night this other girl was following this guy around. If you haven't noticed by now, the guy is Mike. So I wandered off. So during the night I saw this girl whose name I'm not gonna say because shame, poor girl, I don't want to humiliate her, but she was basically so clingy with Mike that I at one stage assumed they were dating. I'm at the bottom of the pavilions, and I hear a guy protesting something, and I look up, and this girl is, I don't know what she's doing, but she's either really pushing herself onto Mike or trying to make out with him or whatever, but he was so not into this, and he was really trying to get away. So I was like, shame, poor guy, let me go help him. So I go onto the pavilions, not remembering who Mike was at all. Remember this part, I didn't remember who he was by this time. So I go to him and I'm like, hey babe, who's your friend over here? Yeah, can I maybe have a word with my boyfriend alone? Thanks. So she leaves with his jacket. His girlfriend arrived and asked her to basically go away, and she takes his jacket with her. She still has this jacket, and I hear about this freaking on a daily basis from Mike. So if you're watching this video, you know who you are, and you still have the jacket. I really appreciate it if you can maybe contact me and send back the jacket so Mike can shut up about it. But let's carry on. Me and Mike, this random guy, I have no idea who he is yet. We spend time together, get to know each other, and we were absolutely weird. It's the first time in a really long time I was myself with someone. And we were getting along so well. We played Titanic on the edge of the bleachers, and we were just, we were drunk. But we were so ourselves that we basically forgot we were there with other people. So finally, I go back to my boyfriend, and we all got annoyed because he was annoyed because I wasn't feeling it, and we all left. So the next day, literally the only thing I can think about is this guy. Not like in a romantic way, but how much fun we had and how well we connected. So I contact my friend whose birthday it was. So I was like, oh, thanks for the invite, it was really great. And this girl we went to primary school with, can you please give me her number or something? So she gives me her BBM pin. I don't know if you guys remember BlackBerry Messenger, but that's the way we connected with our friends. And she gave me her pin. So I contact this girl and I was like, listen, yeah, hey, really nice to see you after all these years. Can you please give me the guy's number who was with you last night? And she probably thought I was like completely in love with him. So she's like, oh yeah, Mike, here's his BBM pin and everything. BBM. So I contact him and I was like, hey, it's Chuckles from last night and everything. And he started talking to me like we've known each other for years. Well, we did, but we couldn't remember it. And we get along so well again, and we literally speak day and night, every day, every night, every day. And everything's great, and we become best friends. Like, inseparable. Every Wednesday night was me and Mike night. And we would spend the night together, we would spend the evening together until he has to leave because the next day we both had to work. And then he would just come to my house and we'd just chill on the bed and talk and be weird and whatever. So, finally he climbs out of his little Mike bubble because he doesn't like people that much, and he comes out with us, and eventually we start partying every single weekend. Like, I finished work early on a Friday, I'd get ready, he would pick me up after work, he would quickly get ready, we would go out, we would stay out the whole night, go back home the next morning, get ready, go to a afternoon social, go out that night, come back home on a Sunday and sleep the entire Sunday, and Monday is back to work. That was what our lives were. I don't know how I'm still alive because all the crap that I did at that age. I don't know how I wasn't killed yet. I don't know. Thank you, Jesus, for keeping me alive. One night, one of our other friends, let's call him Richard. So Richard phones me and he says, listen, you want to hang out tonight? So I said to him, no, sorry, Wednesday nights, it's me and Mike, you know. So he's like, oh, but I can probably join. So I was like, yeah, we don't mind. So he comes through and it's me and Richard and Mike, and we are just chilling, hanging out, whatever. Mike leaves early because he was quite tired, and Richard decided to stay. And me and Richard have a little chat. We were also pretty close, and just before he leaves, he hugs me and he to say goodbye, and he says to me, you and Mike are gonna get married one day. was like, Nia, no. He's like my brother, and that's just weird. Like, no. I mean, this is the first guy my parents allowed to sleep in my bed. That's how much he's like my brother. Like, no. No, no, no. He leaves and I come back into my room and I sit on the bed and I look into the mirror. And something just went in my head and I'm like, oh no. I have feelings for Mike. Now, the reason why I didn't want to believe those feelings or go into it was because of all the stories I heard about Mike. He was the biggest player of all time. He'd have like 5 girls at the same time. I don't feel attracted to him at all. But now all of a sudden, now that our friend Richard says, oh, you guys are going to get married one day, I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh crap, he's right. Ooh, what now? I didn't want to tell Mike because I didn't want to ruin our friendship. So luckily, one of my best friends, she was working with me at the time, and at work, she saw that I was out of it and she asked me. And I said to her, okay, so this is it. I think I have feelings for Mike. And she says to me, well, it's making you sick. You are like getting depressed. You need to do something. So I was like, no, I'm not telling him anything. I am just going to brush it off and it's going to go away eventually. So as time progresses, me and Mike get so close. Like, we would literally be in a bar and someone would start flirting with one of us. Let's say this guy comes up to me and he starts flirting with me and I'm like really not interested. And Mike can see it. Then Mike would just grab me and make out with me so that this guy would go away, and I would do exactly the same with him. We were like each other's like front men, you know, like we were there helping each other out and picking each other's dates. So we've made out before, we've held hands before, we have basically been dating without dating. Being this close wasn't weird to us, but what was weird to me is actually having feelings behind it. So finally Mike starts to notice that I'm not well. Something's bothering me and he says to me, oh, you're in love. So I say to him, oh, no. So he says to me, I know you so well. You are so in love. What's his name? Don't lie to me. So I'm like, okay, Brandon. Now, the week before, Mike actually dyed his hair from blonde to black. So he says to me, what does this guy look like? And I'm like, oh no, he's got long blonde hair and he kind of has a build like yours, but not exactly the same, you know, playing it off. And he's like, oh, when are we going to meet him? So he keeps inviting him to all our socials and all our parties, and every time Brandon has an excuse not to come. So finally Mike says to me, listen, is this Brandon guy real? Because, I mean, come on. We never see him. You've been dating for like a month now. I thought I was going to lose the feelings over time, but the more time we spent together, the more I felt for him. And seeing him with all these other girls broke my heart. Sorry. Where was I? Time goes by and it is now August 2013. Mike invites me to his cousin's, I think 17th birthday. I could be wrong. She watches my videos. Please tell me if I'm wrong. I think you were 17 in 2013? I don't know. But he says to me, do you want to go this weekend? And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go. So now I'm getting ready. Mike has to pick me up in like 2 hours and I'm in the bath and I get like a breakdown. I can't deal with this secrecy anymore. It feels wrong. So I felt so guilty for lying to him and I just couldn't deal with it anymore. And I had a breakdown and I was like, you know what, I'm going to tell him. If he doesn't want to be my friend anymore, then I will get over it, but I can't do this to myself anymore. So I ended up sending him a message saying, listen, there is no Brandon, you are Brandon. And he doesn't reply. So he reads it, doesn't reply. So I'm like getting more of a panic attack, freaking out. In about a half an hour later, I send him a question mark, like hello. And he replies with, oh sorry, I got so busy at work, but I just got home. Sorry for not replying. That's it. Sorry for not replying. You still didn't reply. Like, get on it. Tell me what you think about the freaking message I just sent you, throwing my heart out on the table at you. And you're like, oh, sorry for not replying. Mike has been frustrating me since day one. It's not just a new thing. He's been doing it since day one. I was like, what do you think? Like, can you please say something because I'm getting anxious now. So he says to me, I appreciate it, and I have kind of been getting that kind of vibe. So I said, do you feel the same way? And he says, I'm unsure. Now, it could have been worse. It could have been, I never want to see your face again. I didn't believe that a guy like Mike would ever want to be with a girl like me because I hated myself so much. And when I got that message, I was slightly relieved, but I was also not relieved. So he says, are you ready? Can I come pick you up? So I was like, yeah, I'm ready, I guess. And he comes and he picks me up, and nothing weird or anything. We weren't awkward, we were normal. But he was very touchy-feely with me. Like, he'd hold my hand and he'd start kissing me every now and then. Or he'd just like kiss me on my forehead. Or like boyfriend, girlfriend things. Like, we've been dating forever. But as soon as I get too close and too comfortable, he scoots away. He's like, no, what are you doing? Like, no, I told you, I don't know. So I was getting so much mixed signals from this boy. And I was so frustrated, and I cried basically almost every night, and it was horrible. But me and Mike, we were basically like dating. So we decided that we were a thing, but we're not going to be public about it. So in privacy, we're together, but in public, we're not. And he doesn't want to put a label on it because, I mean, there's so many other girls, like. So we go to this party at his cousin's birthday. Everyone is already assuming, like, everyone's like, how long have you guys been dating? We haven't. So this is basically how our life went. Him being able to do what he wants, but as soon as I get close, no. But I was happy with the no label thing because, I mean, I was at a stage in my life where I was having so much fun and partying so hard and just being me that I didn't feel like being in a relationship, like exclusively. And Mike was dating so many other girls, like he didn't feel like being in an exclusive relationship. So August goes by and now it's November and it's Mike's birthday. His 21st birthday. So we drove about an hour and 15 minutes to his dad's house to go have this huge 21st birthday party at his dad's house on a plot. And it was cool. It was like a undead theme thing. Everyone was like skeletons and stuff. And me and my girlfriends went to the bathroom and we all got dressed into like our costumes because we were swimming as well. Swimming and drinking, that's basically what our lives was. So there's one friend of mine, a really good friend of mine back then, says to me, so Chuckles, what are you and Mike actually? Like, are you dating? And I was like, no, not really. We're just friends, we're just having fun and having a good time. So she's like, oh, okay, no, I just wanted to know. So she leaves. And we all drink and have fun. And later on, I see Mike and this friend in the pool making out. And I was devastated. Absolutely devastated. I mean, we already made our bed when we got there next to the bonfire. Like, me and Mike were going to sleep in our bed that we made. And he's making out with this girl. Like, okay, so back then I was so mad. I was so angry. Because, I mean, it's the worst feeling in the world. And I hated them so much. And I was so angry and so sad and so everything. So back then I was pretty rude. I was very mean. So if you are watching my video, girl, you know who you are, not giving names. I'm sorry for being so mean to you back then. I do apologize, and it wasn't really your fault. I'm sorry. But I was so angry. I sat on the grass on the plot waiting for morning to come. I sat there crying the whole night. But it was like a mixture of sad crying and angry crying at the same time. Like, oh, Chuckles was angry. Okay, I was mad. So these two go to bed in our bed next to the bonfire, like in my blankets. My blankies. Yes, mine. So we're sitting there, I'm sitting there waiting for the sun. The minute the sun rises, I think it's like 5 a.m, I go to the bonfire and I wake them all up. I'm like, you guys need to start packing up. We are leaving pretty soon. I come back eventually and they are still sleeping. So I kick Mike. I kick him like hard. I kick him in his face. Well, not his face, like, yeah, very close to his face. But I kicked him and I'm like, get up, we are leaving. I will be back in 10 minutes. So I come back in 10 minutes and they're all folding their blankets and getting ready and finishing up and doing what I asked them to do, and we leave. So this girl had it pretty easy. I just blocked her off of everything for a while and didn't speak to her. We go to my mom's house where we were gonna sleep, and my mom is throwing a party. She chose this day to throw this huge party with all her friends, having a little barbecue braai, just having fun. And we get home and I jump out of that car and I rush to my bedroom. Past my mom. My mom's like, hey, how was the party? And I was like, Mike is such a beep. I used, I think, every word in the dictionary. I don't swear in front of my mom unless I'm really angry. I was really angry. So I go to the bedroom and Mike comes to the bedroom and he's trying to please and explain, and I'm like telling him how bad of a person he is. And that is when Chuckle started being obsessive. Now, I have never been an obsessive girlfriend or a non-trusting girlfriend. I trust the guys I'm with, and it screwed me over before, but I feel like if you don't trust someone, you're going to fight a lot and then you're going to break up. So that's what happened. We fought a lot because I got very obsessive. We were still not dating. Mike refused to put a label on it. I was ready by now. Like, I was over this now. And December comes by. We babysit my mom's house. And every time he would want to go to a friend, I'd be like, okay, let me just go get my handbag. I'll be right behind you. And I didn't let him go anywhere alone. Anywhere. Even if he went to like one of his girlfriends. I was friends with all of them. I knew all of them. I would go with. Where sometimes they'd even say like, please don't bring Chuckles this time. It was bad. And I was like, fine. Go without me. I'll wait for you. And then he would just end up not going. Because secretly he was really scared of me. So this was December past, and January 2014, me and Mike, I was trying really hard to get to him. So Mike wanted this piercing. He had a lip piercing, but he wanted a special one. He was looking for one where it's like a skeleton hand cuffing your lip. And he couldn't find it anywhere. So he said to me, if you can find me, but as a joke, he said to me, if you can find me this, I'll marry you. So I was like, challenge accepted. So I find one. I think, unlike eBay, it wasn't even that difficult. But I found one, and it came. And as a joke, I went to a jewelry store and got a little ring box, like when you get married and you propose. So I got one of those, and I put this lip ring in there. And at the top of the thingy, the box, when you open it, at the top it reads, "Will you marry me?" And this was the whole joke. So I go to him, I said to him, tonight is date night, we're going to do this huge thing. So I figure out this whole date night for him. And I finally go and I'm like, "Will you marry me?" And it was all fun and games and everything. So I was like, "Ha ha ha ha, I know, I said because I said I'll marry you." So he got the joke. And he actually kept that box. So January, we had a lot of problems. We were fighting a lot. I didn't trust him at all. I didn't let him go to any of his girlfriends. I was basically like pressuring him. Now I was so over it. I was so over all of this. So one night in January we go to friends. He spends no time with me whatsoever and spends time with his ex. We go home and we have a huge fight. By now I forgot to mention, by now I actually moved in with him. We had this huge fight. And the next day our fight continued. So we had this huge fight and he contacts my brother-in-law, Mike's sister, so my sister-in-law's husband. So he contacts him because they were very close friends. And he says to him, "Listen, this is what happened, what should I do?" So he said something like, "I know how hard it is to feel like you've lost the girl of your dreams or the woman of your dreams," or something like that. And that's when Mike realized that everybody knew how he felt about me except him. And this is when he had that moment like I did in the mirror that night. Like, wait, I think I have feelings for this girl. So that's when he finally comes to me and he's like, "You know what? I think we should be together. I think this can work. Let's officially be together." So I'm like, what? Did you fall on your head? What? So at first I was like, he's just doing this so I'm not angry anymore. So I said to him, "Fine. But to prove it, message all of your girlfriends and tell them that me and you are officially dating and I want to see the messages." So he does this. He even puts it on Facebook. He makes it Facebook official that we are dating. And I don't know why his girlfriends were so shocked, but they were shocked and they were not happy with me at all. And I lost a ton of friends because they were all my friends and they were not happy because Mike wasn't dating them anymore. Richard, remember Richard? He moves in with us. So now it's me, Mike and Richard staying in one house. And a few weeks before we went to a concert, the two of them started acting a bit strange, you know? But on the day of the concert, we went to an Asking Alexandria concert in March 2014. Now, we haven't officially been dating for too long, only like 3 months, but we've known each other for years. But now we have noticed, by the way, that we knew each other. And we had so much history. We were basically dating for more than a year already. We go to the Asking Alexandria concert and this guy goes on stage and proposes to a girl. And I'm joking and I'm like, hey, when's it my turn? That would have been so sweet, but I'm kidding. And he's all weird all of a sudden and starts changing the subject so quickly. So the next day we were moving some of our furniture into the new apartment and we were sleeping on a mattress that night because we didn't move anything. And the day after the Asking Alexandria concert was our first day there. So we go home like I said to Mike, let's just leave most of my stuff at my mom's house. We'll get it throughout the week. But he insisted we go get my stuff. Him and Richard. So we go there. And Mike was like, I don't feel very well. I'm just going to chill with your parents for a while. You and Richard go ahead and grab your stuff. So me and Richard go to the room and we grab our stuff. And I hear my parents and Mike laughing. My dad sounds like he's threatening him. And then they're laughing again, and I was just very confused. So like, what a weird day. This day has just been so weird. And then Mike insists we go to the mall. And then every now and then Richard would take me somewhere else and Mike would just disappear. Mike came back and we went home and it's late and I'm exhausted. I kick off my shoes and I just lie down on the mattress. And Mike sits on the mattress and he says to me, can you please stand up? So I'm like, no. It's cold. I'm tired. I don't want to. Stand up. No. So he says, please. And now he's already on his knee. And he says to me, would you just stand up? Because this will make my life so much easier if you just stand up. So I get up and I look at him on his knee, not registering what's going on. And he's like, will you make me hot chocolate? So I said to him, we literally just moved in. We don't even have a kettle. How do you expect me to make you hot chocolate? And he's like, oh, well, in that case, I'll just stick with second best and will you marry me then? That's Mike. That's Mike's sense of humor. So I assume he's kidding because we joke around like this, like, ooh, will you marry me? Ooh, will you marry me? Ooh, will you marry me? So I'm like, seriously, can you just like get up from the floor and we can go get hot chocolate at McDonald's or something? So he's like, no, I'm actually serious. And he pulls out a little ring box. So first I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. And then I notice it's the I'm kidding ring box, the one where I put his lip ring in the cuff, remember? And he pulls out this ring box. I'm like, haha, so funny. And he's like, no, hold on. And he opens the box and it still says, will you marry me, in my handwriting in there. But the cuff isn't in there. There's an actual engagement ring in there. Like a real ring. That's what we were doing at the mall. That's why we were at my parents' house. He was asking them. And I found it so cute. And it's basically like the most boring proposal ever. But it's so cheesy and so cute. And I just love it. That's us. So we were engaged. And I start screaming. And then Richard bursts in there and he's like, finally. Typical me and Mike always had to be different. So we decided to get married on the 31st of October 2015. On Halloween. But that was an interesting wedding and we got married and we had the most amazing honeymoon. Not even like some fancy retreat or something like Mauritius. We went to Durban in South Africa and we drove there throughout the whole night. But it was the best holiday in the world because it was me and Mike. And we moved up and we finally worked our way up and got better homes eventually, rented better places, and now we are in New Zealand with our little dog, broke as hell right now because of this move, but we're really happy. And weirdly enough, ever since we were official, I never doubted Mike. I never didn't trust him. We were best friends back then. We started dating, we got married, and we're still best friends. He is the best thing that could have happened to me. And when people who I love and trust so much hurt me and stab me in my back, he's always there for me. He's always the one I can go to and just be me. So this was my boring old little story time about me and Mike. If you guys have come this far, I'm sorry. Why? Why did you do that? No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please comment and tell me to do this again, or just send me a message if you have my number and we can do this again, because I really think that this is fun. I love telling stories and nobody else wants to listen to me. They're always like, okay, your point, okay, get to the point, what's the point of the story? Oh, so you guys can't do that because I can't hear you and you have to listen to me. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!